You know what the world won't tell you? That weakness is a choice. That staying broken is a decision. That drowning in your own excuses is just another way of running from the truth. And I learned that the hard way. Because when I was a kid, nobody believed in me, nobody trusted me, nobody looked at me and said, "He's going to be something someday." No. They looked at me like I wasn't even human. Like I was a burden, a curse, a mistake. And maybe you know that feeling. Maybe you know what it's like to walk into a room and feel like your existence annoys people. Maybe you know what it's like to chase friends who never cared. Maybe you know what it's like to fall asleep, wondering why you're still trying so hard when nobody sees you. But hear me clearly, that version of you, the quiet one, the scared one, the one begging for validation, that version is dead the moment you decide to kill it. Because the world doesn't respect the weak. It never has, and it never will. And if you're waiting for someone to save you, they won't. People save themselves first. They always will. You'll be lucky if they even notice you're drowning. So stop waiting, stop hoping, stop expecting, get up and get angry. Get angry at your own excuses. Get angry at the people who counted you out. Get angry at the version of you that keeps breaking every time life throws a punch. Because that anger, that quiet, burning, controlled anger, is fuel. You think strength comes from comfort, from encouragement, from people patting your back. No, strength comes from hell, from pain, from silence, from nights when you cried quietly so nobody would hear you, from mornings when you woke up and still kept going even though your body begged you to stop. Strength is built in the moments you thought you were going to break, but you didn't. I've been betrayed. I've been abandoned. I've watched people I cared about walk away like I was nothing. I've seen people smile to my face and pray for my downfall behind my back. I've felt the sting of being alone in a world full of people pretending to care. But I didn't let it destroy me. I used it. Pain taught me discipline. Loneliness taught me resilience. Fear taught me courage. Rejection taught me focus. Weakness taught me exactly what I refused to be. And I'll tell you the truth no one wants to say out loud. You are still weak because you are still comfortable. You are still weak because you still want people to understand you. You are still weak because you still wait for permission to become strong. Stop that. Stop being so damn soft. Life doesn't get easier. You get stronger or you get crushed. Do you want to know what changed everything for me? I stopped caring about who stayed. I stopped begging people to see my worth. I stopped explaining myself. I stopped chasing friendships. I stopped expecting loyalty from people who couldn't even be honest with themselves. I chose myself, and the moment I did, every part of my life shifted. And that's what you need to do right now. Choose yourself, your growth, your peace, your discipline, your future. Because here's the truth you keep running from. Nobody is coming to save you. Nobody is responsible for your pain. Nobody is responsible for your healing. Nobody owes you anything. Not a text, not support, not apologies, not love, nothing. And that's good. Because when no one is coming, you become unstoppable. You train differently. You think differently. You move differently. You grind like a monster because you know the only way out is through. You want to stop being weak. Then stop acting like you're breakable. Stop acting like you're fragile. Stop acting like your heart is glass. You're not made of glass. You're made of every scar life has carved into you. You survived things that should have broken you. You endured things you never talk about. You carry pain that would have destroyed someone else. And yet, you're still here, still breathing, still fighting, still hoping for something better. That isn't weakness. That's strength waiting to evolve. So listen carefully. Stop being the version of yourself that apologizes for existing. Stop being the version that keeps shrinking to fit into people's expectations. Stop being the version that hates themselves every time they fail. Failures don't define you. Pain doesn't define you. Loneliness doesn't define you. Your choices do. So choose to rise. Choose to fight. Choose to become the person they said you'd never be. Choose to become dangerous in your own silent, disciplined way. Because if you don't, if you stay soft, stay scared, stay weak, the world will eat you alive, and you know that. You've felt it, you've lived it, so this is your turning point, your evolution, your awakening. Stop being cking weak. Start being undeniable. This world may not care about you now, but it will. When you rise, when you transform, when you become the version of yourself that refuses to break again, they'll notice. And they'll remember the moment they ignored you, the moment they laughed, the moment they doubted, the moment they thought you were nothing. So rise, not for them, not for revenge, not for validation. Rise because you finally realized what I did, that you were never weak. You were just surrounded by people who feared your potential. You ever wonder why people leave you the moment you need them? Why the ones you trusted disappear the second life hits you hard? Why the world suddenly turns mute when you're the one asking for help? It's because weakness makes people uncomfortable. Nobody wants to carry someone who can't even carry themselves. Nobody wants to lift someone who refuses to stand. And nobody, absolutely nobody, wants to invest in a person who won't fight for their own damn life. I learned that when I was young, when I cried, nobody listened. When I fell, nobody reached out. When I was hurting, people looked away like I was some stain on the street. They didn't care if I healed. They didn't care if I broke. They didn't care if I disappeared. So I asked myself the same question you're scared to ask. Why am I expecting people to save me when they couldn't even save themselves? That's when everything changed. Because I realized something brutal but freeing. Weak people wait. Strong people move. Weak people complain. Strong people adapt. Weak people hold onto excuses. Strong people build weapons out of their pain. You're not tired because life is hard. You're tired because you're still fighting your battles with the same fragile mind that you had when you were a child. You talk about pain like it owns you. You talk about struggle like it controls you. You talk about loneliness like it defines you. Let me tell you something. You're only owned by pain when you refuse to fight back. You're only controlled by struggle when you surrender. You're only defined by loneliness when you stop growing. And you haven't even begun to see what you can become. You think you're broken now, good. You think you're alone now, good. You think life is unfair, good. Because that means you're finally awake. That means you're finally seeing the truth without the sugarcoating. That means you're finally ready to hear what most people can't handle. Life doesn't reward the soft. Life doesn't wait for the slow. Life doesn't protect the fragile. Life rewards the ones who rise. Life rewards the ones who fight. Life rewards the ones who transform their wounds into fire. That fire, that's what you're missing. You let people talk down to you. You let life push you around. You let fear decide who you become. But fear is a liar. Fear is a thief. Fear steals your potential long before failure ever does. And the worst part, you believe it. You believe you're not good enough. You believe you're not strong enough. You believe you're not meant for more, but let me tell you something you've forgotten. You've crawled through hell already. You've survived nights you thought would break you. You've faced battles no one else knows about. You've carried pain you never speak of. And you're still here. You think that's weakness. No, that's power. Raw, unpolished, untapped power. You're not weak. You're unfocused. You're undisciplined. You're uncommitted. You're standing in the middle of your own potential, yet you keep choosing the shadows because they feel familiar. But the shadows aren't protecting you anymore. They're blinding you. They're shrinking you. They're suffocating you. The world out there, it's brutal. It's unforgiving. It's merciless. But so are you once you decide to be. The strongest version of you is locked behind the pain you keep running from. The disciplined version of you is buried under excuses you keep repeating. The unstoppable version of you is hiding behind the fears you've allowed to control your life. You want to stop being weak. Then stop letting your emotions control your actions. Stop letting your past dictate your future. Stop letting people who don't matter decide your worth. You don't owe anyone softness. You don't owe anyone explanations. You don't owe anyone the gentle version of yourself that keeps getting stepped on. You owe yourself strength. You owe yourself discipline. You owe yourself respect. Start training like your life depends on it. Start working like failure isn't an option. Start building the version of yourself that nobody thought you could be. Because when you stop being weak, when you stop breaking every time life hits you, you become something terrifying. You become unpredictable. You become resilient. You become unshakable. People will look at you differently. They'll stop mocking. They'll stop doubting. They'll stop playing with you like you're disposable. They'll say you changed. They'll say you've become cold. They'll say you've become distant. Good. You weren't born to be soft. You weren't born to be small. You weren't born to be everyone's comfort. You were born to rise, alone if you have to, bleeding if you must, but rising regardless. Let the world underestimate you. Let them walk away. Let them think you're weak. Because they have no idea what you're becoming. They have no idea how dangerous a person becomes once they decide, I won't be cking weak anymore. And when you rise, when you finally stand tall, when you finally unlock the version of you that doesn't break, doesn't beg, doesn't fold, they'll remember every moment they treated you like nothing. And you'll walk past them like they never existed. Not out of spite, not out of revenge, but because the strongest version of you no longer has time for anything or anyone that once made you weak. So hear this clearly, your life doesn't change when you feel ready. It changes the moment you decide you're done being weak, done being ignored, done breaking every time someone disappoints you. You don't need permission. You don't need support. You don't need anyone to believe in you. You need discipline. You need focus. You need a reason to rise that's bigger than your excuses. Because when you stop being weak, the world doesn't get easier. You become stronger. Stronger than the pain. Stronger than the past. Stronger than the people who left. This is your turning point, your evolution, your moment. Stand up. Breathe, look your life in the eyes and say, I'm not cking weak anymore. And now, if you're ready to rise for real, hit subscribe. Join the grind and become the version of yourself the old you was terrified to face.